Pure Yoga team. We are in the month of March and we're going to be doing March Mandalas. So we're entering into the springtime and we're going to try and energize those practices by making them a little bit more fluid and trying to bring some activity and some strength and some balance and everything into this month of March again. So it's a real active month, and as we come into spring, that's what we really need for our bodies. So we're starting to blossom, we're starting to grow, and we're starting to feel stronger after having a little bit of hibernation period. So we're going to start at the front of the mat. Make sure you have some water in case you need to stop at any point and take a drink, and feel free to do that whenever you wish. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body. Have the feet hip width apart. We're starting in standing. Take a close of the eyes. Notice how all the foot is grounded into the mat. So the ball of the foot, the heel of the foot. Maybe lift all 10 toes and then bring them down from the little toe all the way through to the big toe to find that nice grounded position into the mat. Grow tall through the spine, relax through the shoulders. Take a scan of the body from the top of the head down to the fingertips, down to the toe tips, just having a check-in with how your body feels while we're stirred in this anatomical position. Softness through the knees, a slight neutral spine, so the tuck of the tailbone and the lift of the lower belly, but not comically, just so it neutralises that lower back from being in too much of a lower back bend. The shoulders are relaxed, the chest is pushing forward, the crown of the head up to the ceiling, nice and strong in that anatomical position. When you've taken that scan, bring the attention to the breath and maybe start to connect with that Ujjayi breath in and out through the nose, and a slight restriction at the back of the throat. So we're going to start with sun salutations, 2 of A and 1 of B. Opening the eyes. Keep the shoulders relaxed. On your in-breath, bring the hands up to the ceiling, palms together at the top. On your out-breath, bend from the knees, tilt from the hips, bring the hands to the floor. In-breath, come up to a half lift, straighten the legs, straighten the back. On your out-breath, plant the hands, step your right foot back, step your left foot back. And then taking the knees, chest, chin to the floor, elbows grazing the ribs, roll through up into a little baby cobra. Release the chest back down, tuck under with the toes. The chest come back towards the thighs. Push into those hands, push into those feet. Lift up the hips and squeeze those heels back. Maybe take a little paddle of the feet as you've arrived in this first downward facing dog of the practice. Relax through the neck. Widen through the collarbone, shoulder blades towards the back pockets. Try and keep that little bit of a ribbon hip tether to keep that core engagement. If you're paddling, bring the heels to a stillness. Gaze in between the hands. Bring your right foot through, bring your left foot through. Allow the body to fold over the legs. Your next breath in, slightly bend the knees as you bring the hands up to the ceiling, palms together at the top. And then bring the hands to the chest. Just take a moment in standing, Samastiti. Release the hands back by the sides of the body. Next breath in, raise the hands up to the ceiling. And on your out breath, bend the knees, fold from the hips, bring the hands to the floor, let the head go. In breath, come up to a half lift, either fingertips or hands on the shins. Out breath, plant the hands, step back with your left foot, step back with your right foot to plank. And then either drop the knees, chest, chin, or bring yourself all the way to the floor, straight bodies, into the toes. Maybe come a little higher in your baby cobra. Release the chest back down, tuck under with the toes. Bring those chests back towards those thighs. Push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up the hips, squeeze the heels back. Maybe just paddle again with those feet, or bring them to stillness straight away if those hamstrings, calves and Achilles are happy to do so. And breathe deeply in this downward facing dog. Then gaze in between the hands. Next breath in, step your left foot, then your right foot forward. Out breath, fold over those thighs. In breath, slightly bend the knees as you bring the hands back up to the ceiling, palms together. On your out breath, hands to the chest. Hold it in standing just for a breath. Release the hands to the thighs. Sun Salutation B. You can choose to step or jump back on this one to Chaturanga, or step back to plank. On your in-breath, bend the knees, raise the arms, find your chair position. On your out-breath, fold from the hips, straighten the legs, bring the hands towards the floor, relax the neck. In-breath, come up to a half lift, straighten the back, straighten the legs. Out-breath, either step back or jump back, plank or Chaturanga. Elbows grazing the ribs. And then from here, take either your baby cobra or your up dog, thighs staying away. On your out breath, either bring the chest back to the thighs or roll straight over the toes. Lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. Hold it here for a breath. Then gaze in between the hands. Step your right foot through, drop your left heel, raise the hands up to the ceiling, warrior one. Release on your out breath, step your right foot back, release to the floor, dropping the knees or straight bodies, or hover. Roll through, lift up the chest. Take it back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. Step your left foot in between the hands, drop your right heel internally, raise the arms, keep the hips facing forward, shoulders forward. Release the hands down on your out breath, step your left foot back, release to a hover to the floor or drop the knees. Find your baby cobra or your full expression of up dog. Take it back to down dog, either chest to thighs, or roll straight over those toes, lifting up those hips. Take a moment in down dog, create some space across the collarbones, push into the hands, index finger, thumb, little finger. Heels should be hidden behind the ankles and the toes. We're going to make it back to the front of the mat, gaze in between the hands, bend the knees, step or jump, and then allow the body to fold over the legs, let go of the head. On the in-breath, bend the knees, sweep the arms up, find chair. On your out-breath, bring the hands to the chest. Hold it in that standing position, just for a breath. We're going to make our way back to down dog via a vinyasa from standing, similar to what we've just done. But we're not coming back up to standing, we'll continue with the mandala. On your breath in, bend the knees, raise the hands, find chair. On your breath out, release the hands to the floor, lift the hips, straighten the legs. In breath, come up to a half lift. Out breath, plant the hands, either step back or jump back, Chaturanga. Roll through, up, lift up the chest, baby cobra or up dog. Release the chest back to down dog. Lifting those hips, squeezing those heels back, holding it in down dog just for a breath or two before we start the mandala flow. 2 poses around to the back of the mat, 2 poses back to the front of the mat, and then we'll do those same 4 poses in the opposite direction. Listen to the cues of when I ask you to lift a particular leg. Make sure you lift that leg, or you'll find yourself in a little muddle and probably going in the wrong direction. Weight comes into your left foot as you raise the right leg. Bend your right knee and turn your hips to the right side of the mat. Keep the shoulders neutral to the front edge. Then realign the hips, bring your knee into the chest, gaze in between the hands as you step that right foot through. Drop your left heel down internally, keep the hips facing forward as you raise the hands, shoulders to stack over the hips, and then cactus the arms. On your out breath, straighten the right leg, bend over that right thigh, and send the palms to face up to the ceiling, still keeping in cactus shape. In breath, bring yourself back to warrior one, cactus arms. Out breath again, straighten that right leg. Turn the palms up. In breath, back, warrior one. One more, straighten that right leg. Bring the chest to that right thigh, palms face up. In breath, back to warrior one. Then turn the shoulders, turn the toes to the corners of the mat, heels in. On your out breath, bring it to goddess pose. In breath, straighten up, 5-pointed star. Out breath, goddess pose. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. In breath, 5-pointed star. One more. Out breath, goddess pose. In breath, 5-pointed star. Cactus the arms again, turn towards the back of the mat, bend into your left knee, back leg straight, pushing into the outside edge of that back foot. In breath and out breath. On your out breath, bend over that left thigh, turn the palms up to the ceiling, straighten that left leg. In breath back to cactus arms, warrior one. Do this 2 more times, straighten the left leg, palms face up. In breath, back, warrior one. Out breath, straighten the left leg, chest comes to that thigh. In breath, warrior one. Then release those hands down, step your left foot back, and release yourself down to the floor. Take a vinyasa of your choice. It may be a hover, it may be releasing all the way to the mat with the knees first, or straight bodies. Making your way back to down dog, lifting the hips and squeezing those heels back. So we're going to take 2 different poses now, working around back to the front of the mat. So on your in-breath, raise the right leg again, bend the knee and stack at the hips. Realign the hips, bring the knee to the chest and step your right foot through. Stay on the toes of the back foot as you reach up with the arms, crescent lunge. We're going to step forward onto the right foot on the out breath. On the out breath, lift the left leg, bring the arms back, aeroplane pose. In breath, drop those left toes, raise the arms. Out breath, aeroplane pose. Step onto the right leg, lift the left leg up. Take it back, crescent lunge. One more aeroplane pose. Come up onto that right leg, sending the arms back. Release that left foot back. Find crescent lunge for a breath. Then turn yourself to the left, toes out, heels in. On your out breath, goddess pose. Cactus the arms, bend the knees, drop the hips. In breath, 5-pointed star. Out breath, cactus. In breath, 5-pointed star. Out breath, cactus. Hold it there for a breath. And then straighten back up. Turn towards the now front edge of the mat. Reach the hands high. Bend into the left knee. Come onto the toes of the right foot. Hold it in crescent. Just get your breath. Your next out breath, aeroplane pose. Stepping onto that left foot. Raising the right leg. In breath, drop the right toes. Crescent lunge. Out breath, aeroplane pose. Raise that right leg. In breath, crescent lunge. And one more, out breath, aeroplane pose. In breath, crescent lunge. Hold it in crescent for a breath. And then release the hands down. Step your left foot back. And take a vinyasa of your choice. That may be to drop the knees. Roll through, up, lift up the chest. Release the chest back down, tuck under with the toes. Chest comes back to the thighs or roll straight over the toes and lift the hips. Finding down dog, facing again back to that front of your mat. So we'll do those 2 same poses going around to the right, and then the aeroplane and crescent coming back to the front of the mat. So starting this time with your left leg lifts, bend the knee and stack at the hips. Realign the hips, gaze in between the hands and step your left foot through. Drop your right heel down, raise the arms, cactus arms. On your out breath, straighten the left leg, bring the chest over that left thigh and raise the palms to the ceiling. Keeping the arms bent. In breath, take it to warrior one, cactus arms. Out breath, straighten the left leg, chest to thigh, palms face up. In breath, back to warrior one. Out breath, pyramid pose. Straighten the left leg, palms face up, getting that movement through the shoulders. In breath, back to warrior one. Then turn the shoulders, toes stay turned out. Bend the knees, goddess pose. In breath, straighten, 5-pointed star. Out breath, goddess pose. Maybe take the hips a little lower. In breath and straighten. Out breath, goddess pose. In breath and straighten. Last one, out breath, goddess pose. And hold it there. Then straighten back up. Turn towards the back of your mat. Right foot forward, left foot back. Bend into your right knee. Keep the arms cactused. On your out breath, straighten the right leg. Bring the chest over the right thigh. Palms face up. In breath, bend back into your right knee. Find warrior one. Out breath, pyramid pose. In breath, warrior one. Out breath, pyramid pose. In breath, warrior one. And then release the hands down. Step your right foot back. Take your choice of vinyasa. Releasing maybe to a hover to the floor, bend the knees. Lift the chest, baby cobra or up dog. Making your way back to down dog. So we'll be taking crescent lunge around to that right side of the mat. So putting your weight into your right foot, your left leg lifts, bend the knees, stack at the hips. Realign the hips, bring the knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands and step the left foot through. Raise up, crescent lunge, stay on the toes of the right foot. On your out breath, balance on your left foot, raising the right leg up, hands back. In breath, crescent lunge. Out breath, aeroplane pose. In breath, crescent lunge. Out breath, aeroplane pose. In breath, crescent lunge. And then turn the shoulders. Bend the knees. Come into that goddess pose. In breath, straighten, 5-pointed star. Heels in, toes out. Out breath, lower those hips. In breath, 5-pointed star. Out breath, lower those hips. In breath, 5-pointed star. Out breath, lower those hips. Hold it there for a breath. And then straighten the legs, turn back to the front of the mat. Raise the arms and find your crescent lunge, toes of the back foot, sole of the front foot. On your out breath, aeroplane pose, balance into the right leg. In breath, raise the hands. Out breath, aeroplane pose. Raise that left leg. In breath, crescent lunge. One more aeroplane pose. In breath and crescent lunge. Release the hands down. Step yourself back and take a vinyasa of your choice. Rolling through, up, lifting up the chest, taking it back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. Coming down onto the knees, maybe take yourself into child's pose for a couple of breaths to restore, or bring yourself to take on some fluids if you wish, depending on what that body requires, whether it's rest or rehydration. So we have 2 more poses going around to the left side. Sorry, 4 more poses going around to the left side. 4 more poses coming back around to the right side. So we're going to make our way back to down dog. Bring the hands forward, step the feet back, find plank first, and then lift up the hips and squeeze those heels back. Give that head a nod, give that head a shake. Getting ready to start with the lift of the right leg. Breath in, right leg lifts. Turn and bend the knees, stack at the hips. Realign the hips, bring the knee to the chest and step your right foot through. Lead with your right hand to take twisted warrior, toes of the back foot. And then turn to warrior two, drop the left heel. Turn back to twisted warrior, come onto the toes of the back foot. Back to warrior two and drop that left heel. Keep rotating all the way around. Drop that back heel, back to warrior two. Then straighten through both legs, hands to the hips. Bend from the hips to bring the hands to the floor. Heel toe the feet into the centre of the mat. Come up onto your toe tips, turn the heels in. Bend to squat, knees out, hips come to the heels. Keeping on the toes, straighten the legs. Bend back into those knees. Seat towards the heels. Lift up the hips, toes stay. We're staying on top of the toes, heels lifted. One more time, bend into those knees, knees out to the side. And then straighten back up through those legs. Drop the heels down, heel toe those feet out. Turn around to that back edge of your mat, bend into your left knee. Lead with your left hand to find twisted warrior to the left side, left knee bent, right leg straight. Turn to warrior two, dropping the right heel, facing the right. Turn to twisted warrior, come onto the toes of the back foot, turn all the way to the left. Warrior two, drop the right heel, turn to the right. Twisted warrior, turn all the way around to the left. Warrior two, turn to the right. Then windmill the hands down, either side of the left foot, step your left foot back, and then take a vinyasa of your choice. Making your way back to down dog, lifting those hips, squeezing those heels back, having a nod and a shake of the head. So we have two different poses, working our way around to the left, bringing ourselves back to the front of the mat. Side angle stretch and reversed warrior two. On your breath in, lift the right leg. Bend the knee, stack up the hips. Realign the hips, bring that knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands as you step the right foot through. Drop your left heel down. Right hand comes to the inside of the right foot as you reach up and over with your left hand. So from this position, we're going to go forward and back to reverse warrior back to this space. In breath, keep the right knee bent, lift the right hand, reverse warrior. Out breath, side angle stretch, toe and fingertips of the right to the right foot, left hand over. In breath, reverse warrior. Out breath, side angle stretch. In breath, reverse warrior. Out breath, side angle stretch. Then bring both hands down to the centre of the mat. Heel toe the feet into the middle. Come up onto the toes, turn the heels in. On your out breath, bend the knees outwards, bring the seat to the heels. In breath, straighten, keep the heels lifted. Out breath and bend. In breath, lift. Out breath and bend. In breath and lift. Drop the heels, heel toe the feet out to the sides, nice and wide. Turn the left toes to the front edge. Left hand to the inside of that left foot. Right hand reaches up and over, side angle stretch. In breath, left hand lifts. Reverse warrior, right hand down the back of the right leg. Out breath, side angle stretch. In breath, lift. Out breath, side angle stretch. In breath, lift. Really use those oblique muscles to lift the torso. Out breath, side angle stretch. Then release both hands down either side of the left foot, toes of the back foot. Step your left foot back and Vinyasa of your choice here. Roll through, up, lift up the chest. Make your way back to down dog. Lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. So we're going to take those 4 poses back around to the front of the mat again, going to the right. So bringing the weight into your right foot, your left leg lifts, bend the knees, stack at the hips. Realign the hips, bring the left knee to the chest and step that left foot through. Lead with the left hand and find your twisted warrior first. Then find your warrior 2 to the right, drop the right heel. Find twisted warrior to the left, lift the back heel. Warrior 2, to the right, drop the back heel. That left knee all the time pointing forward and back to twisted warrior. Back to warrior 2, straighten both legs. Bring the hands to the floor. Heel toe the feet into the center. Lift the heels, turn the heels in. Out breath, bend the knees, knees out to the side. Seat to feet. In breath and straighten the legs. Out breath, bend the knees to the sides. In breath and straighten. Out breath, bend. In breath, straighten. Drop the heels, heel toe the feet out to the sides. Turn your right toes to the back edge of the mat. Come onto the toes of the back foot. Lead with your right hand. Bring it up and over to twisted warrior. Find warrior 2 to the left, drop the left heel. Find twisted warrior to the right. Warrior 2, drop the back heel. Twisted warrior to the right. Warrior 2, drop the back heel. Then windmill the hands down. Step that foot back. Take a vinyasa of your choice. Drop the knees if you need to. Baby cobra if you don't wish to do up dog. Chest back to thighs if you don't wish to roll over those toes. So doing side angle and reverse warrior. Left leg lifts, bend the knees, stack at the hips. Realign the hips, bring that left foot through. Drop the back heel, left hand to the inside of the left leg. Reach the right arm up and over. Then taking it into reverse warrior. Use the obliques, right hand down the back of the right leg, left hand lifts. Find side angle stretch, left hand drops to the floor, right hand reaches up and over. Reverse warrior. And side angle stretch on your out breath. Reverse warrior in breath. And side angle stretch, out breath. Then bring both hands to the floor. Walk the hands into the center. Walk the feet in, heel toe in. Lift up with the heels, turn the heels in. Out breath, bend the knees out to the side. In breath, straighten the legs. Out breath, knees out to the side. In breath, straighten through those legs. Out breath, out to the sides. In breath, straighten through the legs. Drop the heels, heel toe the feet back out to the edges. Bend into your right knee, walk the hands towards the inside of the right foot, right hand down, left hand lifts up and over. Then we take our reverse warrior using the oblique strength. In breath, reverse warrior. Out breath, fold back over that right thigh, left hand comes up and over. In breath, reverse warrior. Out breath. Back to side angle stretch. In breath, reverse warrior. Out breath, side angle stretch. Bring both hands down. Step your right foot back and take a vinyasa of your choice. Rolling through, up, lifting up the chest. Taking yourself back to down dog. Lifting those hips and squeezing those heels back. Have a nod, have a shake of the head. Easy breaths in. Long breaths out. Your next breath in, raise that right leg. Come on to your left side, dropping your right foot behind you, behind that left leg, and reach up with the right hand. Maybe lift the chest. So left leg straight on the outside knife edge of that left foot, and the right leg is bent, right foot to the outside, left side of the mat. And then drop the hips down. Bring that right foot to the inside of that left thigh. Left arm hooks over, right hand comes behind the back, and we twist towards that right side of the room. So we're seated, right knee bent, right foot to the inside of that left thigh. Right hand comes behind, left arm hooks to take a rotation. Taking that easy stretch through the waist. The breath in elongates, the breath out rotates. So we're going to transition back around. So turning the chest back to the left, bring your left hand behind you, reach up with the hips to find that space again. Left leg is straight on the outside edge of your left foot. Right foot is planted, right knee's bent, and then take it back to a lifted leg, down dog. Pop that left foot across to the side. So either keeping that right leg lifted to do your vinyasa if you wish, or let it come down to the floor and do a vinyasa of your choice. If you're coming with me, right leg's lifted, release the chest to the floor, drop the right leg down, lift up through the chest, taking it into an up dog, and take it back to down dog. Lifting those hips and squeezing those heels back. So we're going to take that same movement on your left side. On your in-breath, your left leg lifts. Bend the knee, roll over onto the knife edge of your right foot. Weight onto your right hand. Drop your left foot to the right side of the mat and reach up with the left hand, finding wild thing, supported by that right shoulder, right wrist, right hand. And then drop the hips down. Turn the chest to the back of the mat. Bring your left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Hook your right elbow over your left knee. Left hand comes behind. Elongate, inhale. Rotate on your exhale. Breathe in again, lift, lengthen. Breathe out, twist. Active through the right foot, left knee bent, right leg straight, left hand behind, right elbow hooked. We're going to transition back through the same way we came from. So turning and twisting back to the right, bring your right hand behind, lift your left hand up, come onto the knife edge of your right foot. The left toes are in between that right foot and right hand, and then bringing your left hand down, lifting up through the toes of the left foot, jump your right foot across to the side. Choice to take that vinyasa with a lifted left leg, come forward to plank, release to that hover, bring the toes of the left down, lift up the chest, take yourself back to down dog, lifting the hips and squeezing those heels back. Take a moment here, Maybe come down onto the knees, maybe find your child's pose if you wish. Maybe take on some water. When you're ready, if you're in child's pose, maybe stretch a little further with the fingers. Maybe take those hands over to your left side, right hand on top of your left, and sink that chest to the inside of that left thigh as you breathe into that space of that right rib cage. Relax through the neck if you can. Just let the head drop to the floor. Walk the hands back through centre and over to the opposite side. Left hand on top of the right. Breathe into that left rib cage, creating some space down that left side. Come back to centre, take a breath out in that neutral space. Then make your way into down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing the heels back. So we're going to take ourselves into pigeon pose to stretch out the hips a little. On your breath in, right leg lifts, bend the knees, stack at the hips, turn the hips to the right. Then realign the hips, bring your right knee just to the outside edge of that right wrist. Untuck the back toes, maybe take a hold of that right foot and turn it internally. Bring the hands down. We're going to maybe, if you wish to take it, take a rotation in pigeon. If you're happy staying here up on the hands, feel free to do so. If you want to come down onto the forearms. If you want to take the twist, thread your left hand under your right, bringing your left shoulder and ear to the mat. Then bend into your left elbow, bring your right hand onto the top of the left palm and use the strength of the hands to push together, pushing that left elbow into the mat to find that rotation through pigeon. Right elbow points up, left elbow points down. Feel that stretch through the waist. Only take it if those knees are happy. If you're unhappy in pigeon, come out, go onto your back, bend into the knees, bringing your right foot on top of your left knee, and take that figure four, laying on the spine. Just holding it here, just for one more breath in this rotated pigeon. And then bring your right hand back to the floor, push into that right hand as you lift up with the chest. Bring your left hand back in front to come out safely, tuck under that back knee, back toe, lift that back knee, step your right foot back and find your down dog. Same on the other side. Weight into your right foot as you lift the left leg, bend at the knees, stack at the hips. Realign the hips, bring that left knee to the outside edge of that left wrist, untuck your back toes, squeeze them back a little, take a hold of your left foot, turn it internally. So again, choice can be to stay here or lay on your back to find figure four. If you're coming with me with the rotation, thread your right arm under, bring your right ear, right shoulder to the mat, then bend into your right elbow, push both palms together and try and find that little more stretch by pushing and anchoring into both hands. Anchoring into that right elbow to feel that rotation. Maybe you get a little more of a juicy stretch on the outside of that left hip. Only go into this place if the knees are comfortable. Choose your option. Maybe you're staying up on your hands to protect those knees. One more breath in this rotated pigeon. Then bring your left hand down, push into that left hand. As you bring that right hand back through, lift up through the chest to come out safely, tuck under the back toes, lift the back knee, send the left foot back to meet the right. Take a nod, shake of the head. Make your way onto your backs. Either step the feet through, swing the legs around. Choice to come down with a little bit of activation of the core, or just make your way down to the mat, however you feel fit, see fit. And when you come to laying on the floor, release the head, release the hands. Bring the arms to a T shape, just taking another rotation through those waists, knees together, ankles together. Let the hips slightly come over to the right and drop the knees to the left. Try and keep that right shoulder grounded when the knees have dropped. Maybe squeeze those knees up a little bit towards that left hand. If you wish to straighten the right leg out, maybe take a bind onto that right toe. Feel the stretch all the way down the outside of that right thigh into that right waist. Pushing the heel away if you straighten the leg and drawing the toes back. Still keeping the chest pointing up, the hips to the left. Maybe if you want to take a full rotation of the spine, start to gaze towards that right hand, but only if the neck is comfortable to do so. One more breath in this space. Then take a bend back into your right knee. Let the knees come back a little lower. Bring them back into the centre. Centralise the hips and then take the hips slightly over to the left, the knees to the right. Once the knees have gone to their space, with that left shoulder staying on the floor, maybe bring the knees up a little bit towards that right hand. Then if you wish to straighten that left leg out, maybe taking a hold of that left toe with the right fingers, and then maybe turning that head to that left hand. If that top leg's straight, try and push the heel away, squeeze the toes back. Sometimes the bind can happen, sometimes limbs are a little shorter than others and we can't grab the toes, but work to whatever your ability of your body is. Then take a bend back into that left knee. Bring the legs a little lower, bring the knees back into the centre, neutralise the hips. Then straighten the legs out to the length of the mat. Bring the hands down by the sides, palms facing up. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe lift the hips up slightly, then tuck the tailbone, lift the lower belly up, let the hips come back down to the mat. And just give those hips a little rock from side to side. Hands are just slightly away from the body with the palms facing up and the fingers gently curled. Feet are either mat width or hip width apart, dropping out to the side to relax through the hips. Get a little external rotation in those hips. With the palms facing up, a little external rotation with the shoulders. Close the eyes, relax the jaw and the forehead, and just take a moment in this position, just scanning the body maybe from the top of the head down to the fingertips, just noticing how that body feels after we've worked with that fluidity, that movement to breath, working with that element of water. The chakra is the colour orange, Svadhisthana chakra. Taking a couple of long breaths in, maybe using the mouth to sigh out of. Noticing the parts of the body that are touching the mat, the heels, the calves, maybe the tops of the back of the thighs, sit bones, middle of the back, shoulder blades, back of the head, back of the arms, back of the hands. Knowing you're fully supported by the earth, as you take these few moments to consolidate everything that you've just done. Your next breath in, reach the hands up and over the head. Stretch through the fingers, stretch through the toes, arching into that lower back. And then as you bring those knees back over, start to rotate through the ankles. Bring the knees into the chest. Take a hold of those knees. Maybe have a little rock of the body from side to side. And then choice to roll over onto one side or come up with a little bit more activity by rocking up and down that spine. Using that rock to massage all those erector spinal muscles as you make your way into seated. Either into a cross-leg position on the knees or legs out in front or leaning up against a wall. Bring the hands onto the shins. Keep that slight soft gaze or eyes closed. Next breath in, reach hands up and over the head. Bring the palms together at the top. Bring the hands to the chest. Soft gaze to the floor. Have peace in your thoughts, your words, your hearts, from my heart to yours. Namaste.